That's the beauty of FIRE, this whole concept, that it is not based on just one lump sum. So most of the people ask that, hey, for FIRE, do I need to have $1 million? Do I need to have $2 million, $10 million? Or do I need to have X $100,000 or $10,000 of a passive income? Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be talking to you about the basics of FIRE, financial independence, retire early. And I'll be talking to you about this from this beautiful city of Luxembourg. This holds a special memory in my heart because this is the same city where I started my career. This is the first overseas assignment that I had, and here I am talking about the financial independence, retire early, that I personally just achieved. And here I am in Luxembourg as part of the round the world trip. So a real 25-year journey from where I started in the city, where now I am as part of this round the world trip. Before I talk to you about FIRE, a quick introduction about myself. My name is Yogi, and as I mentioned, I achieved financial independence and I retired early before the age of 50. And right now, me and my wife, Seema, we both are on a round the world trip celebrating our FIRE journey and for 1 year, and here we are in Luxembourg. So back to the topic. What is FIRE? FIRE, as I mentioned earlier, it stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. Personally, I believe financial independence is a must. Everybody should achieve that. Retire early is an option. It all depends on if you're enjoying your job, if you're enjoying what you like, what you're doing, then you might as well as continue. However, in all cases, that financial independence is the part that you have to focus on to achieve, be it a 25-year-old, 35-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old, or a 60-year-old. Retiring early, I mean, if you look at it as just a quick point of view on that, is that the earlier generation or the traditional retirement, I would say, not even say earlier generation, was anywhere between, let's say, mid-60s to late 60s, or early 60s to late 60s, I would put it, where people had a job in the same company or worked in the same place, saved a bit, and by the end of the career, when they retired, the world has changed. Now people are working in, I would say, multiple jobs during their career. They are hop, skipping, and jumping. The new generation, or the millennials, or the Gen X, want a lot more from life, to work hard but play harder. So that's why this FIRE movement is now gaining traction, where people are saying, hey, I don't want to be spending all my life in a corporate job, but instead also want to spend some time to maximize my go-go years. This is another video you will see on my channel about what those go-go years are, what those slow-go years are, and what those no-go years are, pre and post-retirement. Going back to the topic. So financial independence and retire early means that basically, as the word says, you become financially independent. What is financial independence? Financial independence that means that you have your net worth is generating enough passive income, or generating enough income that you can sustain yourself on that income itself, and sustaining means that your living expenses can be taken care of by that passive income, and you no longer need a job or a corporate gig or any primary income to make sure that you're not dependent on that. So that's what financial independence is. So it could be that you're generating enough passive income that you're taking care of all your expenses. How do you check that? Is basically, that means that majority or 100% of your salary, to be true financially independence, is all being saved, and you're just sustaining yourself on your passive income. Alternatively, it could be that you're not generating enough passive income, but what you have is that you are having enough net worth that even if you withdraw a percentage of your net worth every year, you can still sustain and not run out of money. And that is what is called within the FIRE community the safe withdrawal rate. That means you can safely withdraw part of your total net worth and still be confident that you will not run out of money. Now, there is a lot of studies that have happened in the safe withdrawal rate, and I will probably put a few of those links in this video below. One is this study in the US by Bingen, or it's called the Bingen study, where they have done back testing for the last almost 100 years of different scenarios and different simulations where you could have retired early or retired in a year when there was a market crash, be it in the late 20s or be it in the mid 80s or in the early 2000s, the dot-com boom and bust. So they did all those analysis, and then they realized that even if you withdraw a certain percentage of your income, you will not lose or you will not run out of money. Now, that's the beauty of FIRE, this whole concept, that it is not based on just one lump sum. So most of the people ask that, hey, for FIRE, do I need to have $1 million? Do I need to have $2 million, $10 million, or do I need to have X $100,000 or $10,000 of a passive income? So that's the beauty, that there is no absolute amount. So you don't need to have X million dollars or X dollars or X amount of a passive income. It's all a percentage. So you can theoretically even FIRE on $10,000. You could FIRE on $100,000 or $1 million. It all depends on your net expenses that you take care. And on the other hand, if your net expenses or your annual expenses are in millions of dollars, that means probably you'll need to even have a total net worth of hundreds of millions of dollars to FIRE. So that's the safe withdrawal rate, that it is not an absolute amount, but it is a percentage amount. And the study that was done primarily for the US market, and with a portfolio of saying if you have 70% on stocks and equity and 30% in bonds and treasury and much more stable funds, then 4% is what is considered as a safe withdrawal rate, and for 30 years. So that means that if you withdraw 4% of your total net worth every year, you could still beat inflation, you can adjust it to inflation, you could still have a great life, you could still sustain all your monthly annual expenses and not run out of money for at least 30 years. As I said, that is for the US market. It is based on 70-30 of that portfolio, as I said, and it is based for 30 years. So that means that if you are looking at 50, this study kind of simulates enough conditions that you can sustain risk-free till the age of 80. So though 4% is quite a safe withdrawal rate, personally, we've not gone for 4%, we've gone for a much lower safe withdrawal rate. And that is, I would say, 3%, which I would say is, based on all the simulations that have been done, including further iterations on top of the Bingen study, has been that with 3%, not only in a worst case scenario will you not be running out of money for 40 or 50 odd years, you will most likely will be left with the same amount of money, even with the inflation adjustment of your expenses every year, at the end of that term of 30 or 40 or 50 years. And 2% is, I would say, ultra safe withdrawal rate, where that means that you will most likely will be left with a lot more money than what you started with, even after 50 years of retirement. Now, what does it mean in terms of numbers if you just translate it? So let's say your total net worth is $1 million. So on $1 million, that means that you can withdraw $40,000 on a 4% safe withdrawal rate every year, and you will not run out of money for at least 30 years. If you're using 3%, means you can withdraw $30,000 on every $1 million that you have in your total net worth, and you still do not run out of money. Most likely, as I said, that you will be left with same or more amount of money than you started with after even 40 or 50 years of your retirement, early retirement life. And 2% means that for every $1 million, you withdraw $20,000 a year to do that. So that means that it can help you as a framework think that, look, that if I need a runway or a safe runway of a 40-year period where I not only run out of money but probably have some short change or probably same amount of money that you started with, then 3% is a good amount to go with. And with 2%, as I said, that you will be left with a lot more. And you can calculate for every $1 million, a million rupees, or million euros, or whatever currency you want to say, because the dollar doesn't matter. It's those that maths behind it that matters. What is key is that you have invested this money somewhere. If you've stacked all this money under a mattress somewhere in hard cash, I don't think anyone's doing that anymore. But if that is the case, then your money will definitely be eroding value against inflation, and I don't think you can sustain that. So most likely in that portfolio, you will have to balance between short-term investments, mid-term investments, long-term investments, and long-term something that can give you growth and that are a lot more, comparatively lot more riskier than what I would say short-term. That's the other thing that is, the other topic in this is a bucket strategy, that in the FIRE philosophy, you create buckets of money. So you are not putting all your eggs in one basket. And you will hear a lot more from me on this bucket strategy and another video dedicated to this, that how do you create these 3-bucket strategy, 2-bucket strategy for that matter. So going back to the FIRE concept, as I said, financial independence, retire early, it's all about the withdrawal rate from that portfolio that you have. That's called the safe withdrawal rate. And now how do you build towards FIRE? Because FIRE is not an overnight get-rich scheme. Unless you've won a lottery, in that case, congratulations and thanks for watching this video in your free time on your yacht. But most of us, mere mortals, have not done that. So FIRE is a very boring, consistent, grueling journey that you keep investing, saving year on year on year. And actually, even there is a journey, or there are stages to financial independence. And those stages are based on the age bracket that you are in. So let's say you're in the age of 20 to 30. That's where it's not about financial independence, it's the stage 1, which is financial security. Financial security is when you are in a situation that you have a stable job, you have, I would say, you're paying off your mortgage, you're debt-free outside the mortgage. That means that you've paid off your student loans, you paid off any other loans that you have, and that means that you've achieved financial security, that you're secure, that you're just about, yes, you may have your debt, that is your mortgage, and other than the mortgage, you are kind of debt-free, that is very important, and you've got a stable job that is giving you income to sustain your expenses. You may, ideally, in that financial security stage, after all your expenses, after all your mortgage payments, you still have some money left for saving, because that's when the savings start, and that's where the power of accumulation comes in, or power of compounding comes in. Stage 1, financial security, age 20 to 30. That's what you should aspire towards. Stage 2, financial stability. That means that you're secure, now you're also stable. So it's like in your rock climbing that you've secured yourself, but now you're at a stable ground. What does that mean? That means that you don't have any debt other than maybe your mortgage. Ideally, not even in your mortgage, that your mortgage payments have gone down. And ideally, your mortgage payment out of your total salary are less than 30%. That's a rule of thumb. It could be that if it's less than 20%, 10%, even better. But your mortgage should not be 50 to 60% of your total earning package. That means that you've, as they say, bitten more than you could chew, or you've bought a very expensive house. So you've got a stable job in your financial security stage. You've got You've taken care of all your expenses. You're paying off your mortgage. Ideally, your mortgage is not more than 30%. Like the rule of thumb is that you should not rent more than 30% of your income. So that means your mortgage is also not more than 30% of your total income and your payments. And fourth, in that financial security stage is that you've got enough money saved to start investing. So in the financial security stage, you were getting secure, you were saving. Now you're moving from savings to investing. Ideally, in the security stage also, you've started investing. But definitely in the stable stage is where you should be investing. And the last point of financial security is, stability is, that in addition to investing, you have a 6 months of runway of cash available. And cash could be in terms of bonds, it could be in terms of CDs, it could be in terms of fixed deposits, it could be in terms of just cash lying in the bank. So whatever it is something that is easier to access, and you have that runway of 6 months that if there is anything that happens at your job, that you are not just secure but also stable, and you can manage your expenses. And especially because if you're in the age of 30 to 40, where this financial security and stability stages accumulate, you will be having some one-off expenses, be it about marriage, be it about kids, be it about something to do with the education of the kids during that time. So that's the second stage. The third stage after that is financial flexibility. Financial flexibility is when you're in the age of, I would say, 40 to 50 or probably 55. That's where, again, you've got a stable job there. Your mortgage is minimized. It's inconsequential. That means that it's not 30%, it's not 20%, it's going down even more. And then it's a choice. And again, when you're in the financial flexibility stage, if your mortgage is more than 30%, that should also make you question, because that means that you're putting a lot more money in that next egg, which is giving you less returns. But again, rule of thumb there. Then you've moved away from not just saving and not just investing, but diversifying your portfolio. That's very important, because in the security stage, you were just about saving, because that's where you were becoming debt-free, you were getting a job, you were becoming stable, you were maybe on your personal life even starting a relationship. And in this financial stability stage, you were moving into investing and trying to see how do you dabble into investing, reducing your mortgage portfolio, or at least increasing your salary, I would say, in a way that your mortgage becomes a smaller component of that, and you had that 6 months runway. And in the financial flexibility stage, you've gone one step ahead, that you've diversified your instruments or investment instruments in a way that it started giving you passive income. This is where you should, in the financial flexibility, already be in a stage where it's not just your salary that you're relying on. There are other sources of income, be it dividends, be it rental income, be it any investments that you may have done in startups or business or anything else that is giving you the returns from there. And that means that the dependence on salary or dependence on your primary income is slowly reducing. And the last point in financial flexibility is the runway. Ideally, you should have enough in your bank, your fixed deposits, in your bonds, or any other quick access instruments that gives you a runway of 2 years. And this is very important, because that, if you're in a corporate life, at the age of between 40 to 50 is when most of our careers either plateau, or they are vulnerable, or they may take off. And this is where you're maximizing your career and you're getting the maximum salaries. And therefore, it's super important that if your career plateaus or if you're vulnerable towards any corporate reorganizations or restructuring, that you have a longer runway than just 6 months that you can take care. And this is also where probably you will have bigger expenses, be it about children, be it about any family issues that may have, or challenges maybe have. It could be health or anything else like that. So that runway is super important. And believe me, I've had in my corporate career, I've seen many people who've been blindly just following the corporate career, and then suddenly the corporate this has been pulled under the feet. And many times I have also been on the other side of the table to deliver the bad news to them because of corporate restructuring, and I can feel their whole world falling under their feet. And that's where the wake-up call happens. So it's super, super important to have that long runway. So that's the financial flexibility phase. And after that is that the so-called nirvana of financial independence. And financial independence, as I started in the video, is all about when your passive income has taken over your primary income. And basically your net worth, your total your total investment portfolio and your passive income is kindly telling the primary income that, rest, just go to the bank and just be there. That's when the financial independence happens. So how it started with financial security, where you had 0% of your money making money, maybe, to slowly probably in the financial stability part where a small percentage of your money was making money. Maybe it was getting added back to that because maybe the dividends were getting reinvested, or you were reinvesting the rental income back into the upkeep of the real estate, whatever portfolio you had. And when you reach from financial stability to financial flexibility stage, that's where you had part of your passive income already taking care of your expenses. And financial independence is where you would achieve 100% of your passive income or your net worth, where you go with that safe withdrawal rate, already taking care of your total expenses and you not needing to touch your salary or your primary income anymore. And that's the journey towards financial independence. And depending on what age group you are, so you need to decide and you need to think, where do you fall, and ask yourself that if this is the bracket that you're falling in. And these, by the way, these age groups are rule of thumb. It could be that you started a career late, it could be from 25 to 35, or it could be the other way around, that you did fantastic from the age of 25 to 35 to 40, that you already went into the stage of financial flexibility, and by probably your late 30s or mid 40s, you've already been into that financial independence stage. So congratulations again. But this is the journey that you will most of us will go through. So I wish you the best. Feel free to get in touch, write a comment. I would love to hear your opinions about where do you think you fall, or if you agree or disagree on any of the points that I mentioned, and we can have a dialogue about that. And I really wish you that you are able to achieve that financial independence. And as you could see, even in this video, the focus was on financial independence. The focus was not on retire early, because retire early, as I said earlier, is an option. It's something that you may or may not want to do. The last corporate job that I did over there, the founder of that company is in his late 70s or early 80s now, I would say. And he's worth billions of dollars, but he enjoys what he does. And that's why he is still working and taking calls from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the evening, and very passionate about it. So take Joe Biden or Donald Trump for that matter, even, that they are all in their late 70s and they are enjoying what they do. So, and I'm sure that they are financially independent many times over. So retiring early is an option. Financial independence is a must. Take care. Goodbye.